up her shoes at sunrise. Camera in her hand, hope in her eyes. Dust on the trail, sky open wide. Talk about grace with every stride. Welcome to Lori's Soul Circle. Come walk a little while, talking faith, talking courage, laughing, crying, finding light inside. Step by step, she reminds you you are stronger than you knew. Lori's Soul Circle, God's love walking with you. She's breathing out fear on the hillside, turning every hurt into a highlight. Little roadside cross, she nods her head, says, you ain't alone in the words he said. Welcome to Lori's Soul Circle. Come walk a little while, talking faith, talking courage, laughing, crying, finding light inside. Step by step, she reminds you you are stronger than you knew. Lori's Soul Circle, God's love walking with you. She says, lift your eyes, even when the path gets steep. Every valley, every question, he's still leading with your feet. So you walk, so you breathe, you believe. Welcome to Lori's Soul Circle. Come walk a little while, talking faith, talking courage, laughing, crying, finding light inside. Step by step, she reminds you you are stronger than you knew. Lori's Soul Circle. Come walk a little while, talking faith, talking courage, laughing, crying, finding light inside. Step by step, she reminds you you are stronger than you knew. Lori's Soul Circle, God's love walking with you.
Hello, hello, hello on a Sunday night. It is absolutely gorgeous here. So I sort of expect it to be a light night tonight. And I certainly can't blame anybody. I struggled myself saying, oh, should I cancel it? It's so nice. I'm like, oh, Laura, you can't start already. First nice day, first Sunday. Um, so Peter was first. Well, I guess it was between him and M. So we'll say it was a tie. So, um, how are you guys? And we have Sally and, of course, Daryl. Sally and Daryl are a pair. They come together. And then my friend Mike. I got my stickers from Mike the other day. I was going to show you, but it's actually on my laptop here, so I guess I can't show you. But he's right next to Sally's sticker. And I actually had a Scott sticker also on here, but since he's no longer escaping the suburbs, I had to take it off. So just waiting for some new stickers um, from Mr. Winning the Week. I think. Oh, hey, Kelly, how are you, hon? I think I caught everybody. I have Big Three Dashing this Friday, and the next Friday is Tyler. That'll be awesome, Sally. We'll be there. We will be there. How was Friday's turnout? Was it pretty good? Because this was your first premiere, right? So I also know you weren't feeling well, so I'm not sure if you participated or not. Um, Michael, should I put you on the list? Oh, that would be a fun one. Yes, that would be a fun one. You guys can talk about Well, you know what you can talk about. Even though it's my birthday, I wanted to pop in and say hello. It's your birthday, Miss M. If I could sing good, I would sing you happy birthday, but I don't want to do that. So what's today? The 17th. So today is your birthday? That's very cool. I went to I went to the Seacoast yesterday to catch the sunrise yesterday because it was a friend's birthday and I wanted to send them a picture of their sunrise. So if I had known it was your sunrise, if it was your birthday today, Miss M, I would have caught the sunrise up here at the lake. Would have been too far to drive to the coast from the lake, but well, happy birthday. I hope you had a great day, hon. Um, just saying. Oh, CL, I'm glad you could come in, honey. I know you love work, but hopefully it's slowing down just a little bit for you. Sometimes it's good to be able to catch your breath. But I'm glad you could pop in. Glenn, how are you, honey? I hope you're feeling well. We are having dinner at the moment, so I'll catch up in a little bit. Go enjoy dinner. Go enjoy the family, hon. The green glasses suit me, eh? So I have green, red, black, and then like no frames and metal frames and but I like the red and the green ones the best. Oh boy, Mike and I next together brother and sister shenanigans. Mike and I next together brother and sister shenanigans. Well, I was thinking more about like that thing that you bought him, Sally. Thought you guys could talk about that. That'd be a good show and tell. So, um, I think so. It is today. Well, I hope it was a good one, hun. Hey, Dana, how are you? How you doing, hun? Um, thanks, Em. You too, honey. Hopefully you've had birthday cake today. Everybody needs birthday cake on their birthday. Uh, Michael, my darling, there's always pre-recorded. Why did he say no? He couldn't do it. We may have to pre-record because you and me together are great shenanigans. Hey, Jen, how are you, hun? Thank you for that awesome video. Um, it came across like you were a professional. So if you felt nervous doing it or whatever, you definitely did not come across. Um, and I was doing it right along with you. So thank you. I got to get that into my routine in the morning, or at least maybe not every morning, but a couple times a week I need to do it. So thank you for doing that. I was looking forward to chatting with you all today, but I have to go rescue my daughter from a parking lot. Oh my goodness. Hopefully she's okay. Yes, go. Family always comes first. I'm getting some new green glasses, just ordered them today. Oh, I hope you like them, Kelly. Kelly, when do you get out of school? What is it, the middle of May? I think you said you're in Virginia. So when do they get out of school? Do you have another couple of weeks? It will be one of those stories we laugh about in the future, not so much now. Okay. Well, hopefully it's not anything too bad that a good night's sleep won't take care of. But we're here for you, Jen, if you need to chat with us or anything. But we will definitely say a prayer. Hopefully everything's okay. Hey, Whistle Top Homestead, how are you? Nice of you to pop in. I love when I have some new folks joining. I have a 2-hour drive, so we'll be listening in. Everyone is safe though. Okay, good, good, good. A 2-hour drive. Okay, she got stranded somewhere. Happy birthday, M. Drive safe, Jen. Hey, Tyler, how are you doing, honey? I've enjoyed those couple of new videos you have out. Did you ever get your phone back? I never saw the outcome of the video you did the other day, and I missed your live stream on Friday. Um, and I have not had the opportunity to go back and watch the replay. So I'm just wondering if you were able to recover that at all. Mama Sally. She's everybody's mom. Guess what old Mama Sally found her phone that she lost? I lost my phone yesterday. I said to you, Sally, you probably didn't read it, but I did send in a text message this morning. Did you check your car? Because I know you were out doing the videos last night. Did anyone see Sally's video of the Northern Lights? I tried to see him here up at the lake. It would have been a good place because it's nice and dark up here, but couldn't see him from up here. And I even have a friend who's someplace else in New Hampshire, and he typically goes out and photographs them as well. And he's on a alert to get notified if the Northern Lights are going to be out that night. And he did not get an alert. So maybe this area of New England didn't see him. But if you have not seen her video, it was pretty cool. She sent me a copy of it. And I that was the first time I've seen the Northern Lights, the closest I've seen to the Northern Lights. Obviously, I've seen them in videos and stuff, but it was pretty cool. Um, I think you had said it was red, but I saw like pinks and blues and greens. Um, so it was very, very cool. So if you haven't seen her video, go take a look. Oh, June 12th. Okay. So you still have another 3 weeks or so, but it should be winding down. Thanks, Sally. That is awesome. I wish I could find my. Oh, Kelly, is your birthday June 12th? I think that's when she gets out of school. That's I had asked her last day of school. I hear noise. Congrats, Tyler. That's awesome. That's congrats. That's a great milestone. Great milestone. I have Daryl's birthday. Daryl, I don't know. Is it in December? Is Daryl's birthday in December? Sally, you'd be proud of me. I bought a 17-ounce water bottle so I could hydrate through the day, already feeling the benefits. Yes, I think she has motivated a few of us, um, sorry, to hydrate more often. And that was one of the things I committed to on Thursday's live stream was to drink more water. So I have been drinking more water. I have not been keeping track, but I definitely probably have doubled what I'm used to taking. Mm. Hey, Pops, how are you? Good to see you too. Good to see you too. December 4th. Okay. And look at that. I am caught up. So I wanted to talk about money tonight. And because I talk a lot about it in passing, I'm always saying that there's more than enough money out there. You just have to plug into it. And I'll be honest, you guys probably all look at me like I have three heads. So, but I did break it out into two live streams because it was just too much to dump tonight. Otherwise, I would never get through the chat. So, I'm going to talk about a few things tonight and then I will do the second part of it next Sunday. And it's not necessarily about, budgeting or, side hustles, though I could definitely talk about side hustles, but it's not that. So, but what I wanted to talk about was you've also heard me say that everything is energy, right? Um, whether it's the chair, the computer, money, everything is made up of 99% energy. Only 1% of it is particle. That's it, right? So that's the first thing. And so it starts out as energy, but yet most people chase it their whole life and they don't have to chase it. So that's like one of the first things I think you need to learn is it does not have to be hard. You should not be chasing it. And um, so when people say, I need more money, I'm trying to get more money, what you're really saying is you need more energy. Again, it goes back to the energy, it goes back to what you're vibrating at, it goes back to your frequency. And um, it's always flowing. And that's the other thing, right? What's money called? It's called currency. And what is currency? It's a current. And what is a current? It's always flowing. It's always moving. So that's one thing you got to remember is you got to keep the money flowing, the money moving. Um, but the thing is, you need to be plugged in to the energy. So think of it like a lamp, right? You can have a beautiful lamp. Doesn't matter where you get it from. You can find the perfect table to put it on, the perfect room to put it in, but the lamp's not going to give you any light, right? Not until you plug it in. But once you plug it in, Then it's not even the lamp that does the heavy lifting. It's the power, it's the electricity. Well, it's the same thing with us. We need to plug in to our source. Who is the source of all energy? God, right? So you need to plug into God. And again, it's not, we're just the vessel, just like the lamp is just the vessel. We're just the vessel. It is once you plug into the source, once you plug into that energy, then it starts flowing through you. Um, oh, shoot. Let me see. Blank piece of paper. Hold on. I need a pen. Don't go anywhere. So I don't know if anybody read the description, but in the description, I suggested you bring a piece of paper with you tonight and a pen because we're going to do something. We're going to do an exercise because words don't teach, experiences teach. So I want you to see this. Um, so what I want you to do is write yourself a check. And I am not an artist, so don't hold it against me here. Does anybody even know what a check still is? I still write checks. So, all right, here's my drawing of a check. All right, it's from God. And under the memo, I want you to write divine compensation. I want you to write to pay to the order of yourself. So put your name. And then I want you to write out a dollar amount. Whatever it is. First thing that comes to your mind, whatever it is. Don't think logically, just write an amount. I will give you 30 seconds to draw your check and to write an amount. And then I want you to drop it in the comments. I want to know um, a couple of amounts that people put on their check. This is class, folks. You must do this assignment. Oh, did Jason pop in here? I bought 10 asparagus at the store and I got home, there were 11. Oh, oh, did Daniel pop in? I thought I saw somebody say hello to Daniel. Thank you, Lori. Those two videos were hard to record for my other channel. Yeah, I could tell they were very emotional and you were definitely being vulnerable. So, um, just where do you buy? It doesn't matter where you buy this lamp. That's not where the magic is. You don't have any paper. All right. So think about it in your head, Tyler. What would you write for an amount? A check to yourself from God for divine compensation. Thank you, Dana. Dana, 175,000. Tyler, are you kidding me? A dollar? Are you kidding me? Okay. Daryl, 250,000, 60,000 euro. Okay. Keep that in mind because I'm going to come back later and I'm going to ask you why you wrote those amounts. So, because I want to understand why. Why did you choose the amount that you wrote? Is that what you feel you're worth? You know, kind of tells you where your thought process is or your mind is. Bear with me, folks. We're water learning tonight, so I had to take out my notes here. Um, so let me ask, if I asked you right now if you wanted to be wealthy on on this live stream in front of all our friends, would you say yes or would you say no? And I know what some of you would say, because I know 2, 3 months ago when I came on this live stream and I was a little bit discouraged because YouTube wasn't where I wanted it to be and I wasn't monetized yet. And everybody was like, oh, it's not about the money. Don't worry about it. Um, so it, everybody pushed back on me a little bit. It was almost like it was taboo to say that you wanted to be monetized. But I will say over the last 2 to 3 months, I won't say all of you, but I talked to quite a few of you offline, and all of you have expressed to me in private that you also want to make money. So the point being is there's nothing wrong with making money. It's just we have such a taboo around it. If I had said to you, hey, I'm going to start this, well, actually, we have this Outlive book club, right? If I say I'm going to start this health and wellness journey, would you go around telling everybody, hey, I'm going to start this, program with Lori. I'm going to do this. Of course you would. You'd be proud of it. You'd be excited about it to some degree. Um, but nobody would go around saying, I'm taking a wealth program or I'm going to learn how to be wealthy because for some reason it's taboo. So we're going to learn out what we're going to learn why it's taboo. And we're going to learn that that is one of the reasons that is blocking you from receiving what is rightfully yours. So, because that's one thing I wrote. You have permission to be wealthy. You don't need anybody's permission to be wealthy. You don't need mine. You don't need anybody's. Um, just like I say, you're born worthy. Being wealthy is your birthright. You know, I'll leave it at that. Um, and the thing is now let me back up a minute. When I say being wealthy, what feelings do you think about when I say that? Is it like nobody came here? Nobody came here trying to collect a pile of stuff, right? We all came here on an assignment. Whether you believe that or not, you have. Um, it's to connect with other people. It's oh, I am so hot. I'm not complaining. I won't put the AC on because it's the first warm day here. But so your soul came here with much bigger dreams than collecting piles of stuff. You didn't come here to fill your closet, your garage. Though one of the biggest businesses going is storage units. And I find that totally insane that we buy all this stuff and then we have to go get a storage unit to put this stuff in, right? And how many, and this is just a side note, I was just thinking about it. Have you ever bought something that you had to have and you kept thinking about it and you couldn't wait to get it, and you just knew how excited you were going to be when you got it, whether it's when you were a kid or last week. And then you go get it and then after, I don't know, maybe an hour, maybe a week, totally over it. Totally don't care about it anymore because it wasn't the thing you were after to begin with. So there's two lies that I feel have been passed down from generation to generation. And the first lie is the more money you have, the richer you will feel. That's not true. Like I said, your soul came here with bigger dreams than just collecting piles of stuff. They came here to connect and to fulfill their divine assignment. Some of the wealthiest people in the world are miserable, absolutely miserable. So money doesn't make you happy. It really doesn't. They confuse accumulation with abundance, right? Fulfillment. Abundance is actually connecting to that power inside of you, that energy that we talked about when you plug into the divine source. And then the second lie is that if you have a lot of money, you're either bad or I'll take it a step further, evil, or people will judge you. And I say that very gently because I think most of us have heard this at some point in our lives, whether it was growing up, whether it was in a church, from a friend. I think mostly everybody has heard this. But what I would challenge you is money is not good or evil. It is what is already inside the person that has the money. Money itself has no power. Money itself has no value. I meant to bring out a $20 bill. There's no value to it. We're the ones who assign value to it. That piece of paper means absolutely nothing. So, um, money makes you more of what you already are. And I think it was Will Smith had said, money and success don't change people. They merely amplify what is already there. So a good analogy, and I've used this one before, is that if you have a garden and it's full of weeds and it rains, what are you going to get more of? You're going to get more weeds, right? And that's somebody's heart that's maybe full of greed or fear. But if you have a rose garden, right? So somebody who is generous and is love and it rains. Again, money is rain, and it rains on that garden. What are you going to get more of? You're going to get more roses. You're going to get, somebody who's more generous, who's more giving. So again, it's not money. It's not the money that is evil. It is the person and what they do with it. And again, it amplifies what's already inside of you. So I think the other thing, oh no, that's in next week's talk. So let me ask you this also, because this goes back to abundance. Um, do you think we're all separate, or do you think that we're all connected? I think you've heard me say that we're all part of the same ecosystem, right? It's just, again, let's use the garden as an example. If you have a plant in your garden that has a disease, mildew or an insect or whatever, is that going to affect the whole garden? 100%. It will affect the whole garden. But on the opposite side, if you have a garden that is flourishing and that is cross pollinating and the bees are swarming all around, will that affect the whole garden? Yes, it is. It's all part of the same ecosystem. And it's the same with us. We're all one. I've said that before, right? We're someone, we're some of the one, or we're the masterpiece, we're a piece of the master. We're all connected, ourselves as well as to God. And I believe some of you have read James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. And he was asked on a podcast that I had listened to a while ago now, he was asked, what is the most important habit out of all the ones you listed? And he had said, it's the people that you hang around with. Because again, it's all one consciousness, right? You become a sum of the five people you hang around with. You become like them. So, I mean, think about it, right? Your parents always wanted you to hang around with good kids because they knew good kids would lift you up versus kids who got into trouble all the time. So, um, so the point to that whole thing is abundance creates abundance, right? So if somebody is abundant and they're in flow and their energy is expanding, then the people around them are also going to feel that. They're going to feel that energy. The greatest compliment you can give somebody is not what kind of car they drive or anything like that, not anything they own or not how much money they have, but how good their energy is. Somebody has good energy is going to share that with the collective, and it's going to lift everybody up. And I mean, I think Sally says it, right? She says all the time, and I don't remember what you said, but I was going to say something about, the rising tide lifts all boats or something, but that's not what you say. I think you say we rise. You're saying exactly what I'm trying to get across, but Sally says something like that too. Um, Let me give you one more example, and then I'll go back to the chat and I'll get off my little soapbox for a minute or two. And if you have a candle, right? If you have a lit candle, just one of those taper candles, how many candles can you light from that one lit candle? 10, 100, 10,000? How about infinite? Because you can light two candles, which can light four candles, and so on and so forth. It could go on forever. So let me ask, how much of that flame, when you light a candle, how much of that flame loses its power when you give part of it away to another candle? None, none. So I want you to keep that in mind because um, when when you give that away and you share like that, that creates more abundance. That's the divine energy and it multiplies through the sharing. It never ever depletes. And that's one of the reasons, you know, some of you have been on live streams where I like to tip or give super chats. I don't know why I said tip. Um, because I understand that giving that away is what brings more back. You've got to keep it flowing. So, yes, I am very generous and I like doing that. I love doing that. But there's also a reason behind it because that's part of the energy. So, um, generosity creates more generosity, abundance creates more abundance. It's the nature of divine energy. All right, let me go back to the chat because I've seen a few things go across. Um, and then there's just one. Oh, it's on the other side of my check that I wrote. It's like, where's the rest of that? Okay, let me go back to the chat. Mm. Oh, Allie popped in here somewhere. Okay, so I stopped at 1.8 million. All right, Allie, I like that. We're getting there. We're getting there. That's even better, Kelly. 20 billion. I like that too. Much of those fishing rods. Thank you so much, Sally. We love you and Daniel. Daryl. That's why I thought there was Daniel here, right? I would want to be wealthy so I could pay it forward. And that's typically what people want to do. That's typically what people want to do. Yet they're so afraid to say that they want to make money and that they want to be wealthy. Like they're so afraid of being judged. And we're going to talk about that on next Sunday's live stream. But I don't care about wealth. I just want to achieve financial freedom. Why do you want to achieve financial freedom, Peter? There's got to be a reason because financial freedom doesn't really mean anything. Why? Memories and money. Memories and money. Hmm. Full disclosure, I definitely want to make money at YouTube, but I definitely need some priceless friends. That's fair, Allie. That's fair. So, yeah, I'm not saying um, nowhere. I hope I didn't come across as um, you should do anything nefarious or mean or whatnot to make wealth because you don't have to do that. That's the whole thing. If you can start changing the way you look at things, the things you look at will start changing. And what you got to understand is when you know the universe is it's a mirror, right? It's a mirror. It's not a vending machine. So when you start seeing things a certain way and you start living from that place, the universe is going to mirror that and it's going to start bringing to you what you need. Y- I feel like I have such a responsibility to help everybody understand this because money is truly easy to be made. It really, really is. Um, I mean, I didn't always know this, so I don't want to make it sound like I've always known this. I've done a lot of studying and a lot of programs, and I have to say that when I applied what I've learned over the last 10 years, it has never faltered me. So let me go back. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to make money from YouTube. However, you can't do it for the money because you end up making so many videos for free. Well, that's true too. That's true too. So, and let me just go back. So, like I said, a couple months ago, whatever, I came and I said I wanted, I was just disappointed. Everybody goes through this season, so I wasn't special. And I was certainly hoping I'd be further along by this point, and I wanted to get monetized. And I think I had told you folks that I was going to just start listening to God as much as I could. I mean, I always listen to him, but I was really trying to get more in tune to what he wanted me to do with the channel. And I did. I just said, you know what? Okay, I'm just going to keep going. I'm not going to worry about the monetization. And do you literally know what happened? I think I've shared this. It was within weeks, maybe 2 weeks. I got a phone call from the company I used to work for. And they asked me, this is the second time they've contacted me to contract with me to do a project for them. And this project they're having me do for them right now is like so super simple. And but the money is phenomenal. So it was like, okay, I let go of the outcome. I just kept moving forward because that's what I believe God wanted me to do with my channel. And the money came. And that's the other thing. We have to learn to let go of the how. The how is not our responsibility. It You just got to keep taking action every day, and and let go of, the opportunity that is going to come, or however the money does flow in. I think sometimes we're so married to, well, I want it this way. I expect the money to come in this way. So you miss so many other things that are right there in front of you um, that you should be doing. So I agree with you, Kelly. Remember, it's not the money. Money makes good people better and bad people. Yes, and that's what I was trying to say with the whole garden analogy. But Pops, you just said it so much easier than I did. So thank you. But you're right. It's not the money. It's not the money that does it. It's what's already inside. It amplifies, right? That's what Will Smith said. It amplifies what's already inside you. And you can have bad people that have no money, and then you can have bad people that have a lot of money, and the same with good people. It goes both ways. I need and I found them. I think I must have missed something. Define wealth. You define wealth. How do you define wealth, Peter? Doesn't matter how I define it. It matters how you define it. We'll get into next week's a little bit more about that. Hey Chris, how are you, hon? I'm glad you could pop in. Made, not need. I made and I found them. I made and I found them. I still don't understand, honey. Uh, Good evening, alligator. You can never have too much money. There's always something going on. But really, I don't want to be rich. I just want to be able to support myself and my family, which has been very difficult. So let me ask, and you don't have to answer. I just want you to think about it. Because again, we're going to talk about this next week. You just want enough money to support your family. And if you had enough money today to support your family, how would you feel? Just think about that. How would you feel? And think about it. Close your eyes, dream upon it. How would you feel? And I want more than just one simple answer. Think of several. Your face as well, Peter. That is a classic, Allie. That is a classic. To me, being wealthy means I don't have to worry about bills, having some money in savings. That's it for me personally. Okay, so you kind of said one thing right there. It means not worrying. So what's the opposite of not worrying? Because you always want to put a more positive spin on it. Does that mean you'd be at peace? You'd feel secure. I don't want to put words in your mouth, so um, we are in the body of Christ. We are definitely all connected, even if you don't like it. It is a true story. 100%, Allie. 100%. You're fishing, but listening. Yeah, I would have never known you were fishing. You're right there commenting with the rest of them, Allie. It is wrong to say that I'm happy with what I have and what I make. I'm not rich, but we aren't hurting for anything important. I would love to pay off my bills, but I'm happy with my life, friends, and family. No, that's fine because the amount you need, Glenn, is not the amount that somebody else may need. And again, I like to be able to take care of other people and do things for other people, but that's me personally. So, but what I need and what I want are not the same thing that everybody else needs or wants. So it's very there's no right or wrong answer. I think the only, and I don't want to say it's wrong, but it's not healthy to think, no, I don't want money because I don't want people to judge me or I don't want people to think I'm bad because there isn't one person on here, at least in this community, that is like that. There are certainly people out there, but not nobody in our community is like that. Because again, you know why? Because the energy of the collective of this group, it attracts that type of energy. We don't attract um, the nefarious people, and not that nefarious people aren't good deep down. They are. They can be, but our collective energy doesn't attract that. So no, Glenn, it's not wrong. My parents did not mind who I hung around with as long as I was out of the house during the day and home when the street lights came on. Okay, okay. Yeah, my parents didn't either, Peter, to be honest. And, one of the other things that I didn't ask, um, and mainly because, like, growing, actually, I think it was the last thing I was going to ask. So I'll save that. Um, will you rise up by lifting up others? Will you rise up by, yeah, it was something, that's what Sally says, right? We only rise by lifting others. Thank you, Sally. We only rise by lifting others. Good perspective. I make ends meet and I don't mind saving for months or selling something to get something I want. I have a lot of joy in my life. And that's good. And that's good. But would you judge somebody else, CL, if they wanted to make money? You know? And I'm not saying you do, it's just a question. Would you judge somebody else if they wanted to make money? If they wanted, and again, wealthy means different things to different people. Like it sounds like you're wealthy already, CL. Glenn's already wealthy. Um, he did mention that he wishes, maybe he'd pay off some more bills. How would that feel if your bills were paid off? I mean, yeah, you pay all your bills right now, but what if everything, including your mortgage or whatever, was all paid off? How would that feel? How was your day, Sally? Kate Spade was a successful fashion designer, mega wealthy, sold her business. Oh, yes, I know where that's going. Felt like a loser, no self-worth after selling out. Yep, yep. It's not the money. It's not the money. It's not the money. That's what I mean. It's the money isn't anything. The money doesn't do anything. We attach the value to money. We attach the meaning to money. 100%. Um, the Kate Spade, such a tragedy, such a tragedy. And obviously we know others, right? We know others that have also followed that route, um, or who just struggled, and they, you know, musicians, right, that struggled, and they had so much money. So it's not the money. Mm. Well, Mark and I were talking before you're live, and we were talking about the same thing, that if we won money, we would share it. Yes, because that's who you are. And I know that, Sally. I know that about you. Um, because you would give whatever you have right now to anybody. Financial freedom means I don't have to worry about bills. I could be able to save money each month and eventually buy a house. And that's all good. Hey, John, how are you, honey? Welcome. Hi, Sally. Hope you're doing well. The van needs an oil change really bad. It's expensive. We sold just enough magic cards this weekend, so now we can get the oil change this week. I'm fine letting go and taking action. Oh, do you sell them like on eBay, CL? I didn't know you did that. I did that for many, many, not cards, but other things, for many years. Many years. I am doing okay, Peter. I had a rough morning, but I'm feeling better now. Hanging in there. Don't forget to email me about show and tell. CL. I feel you. I've been selling stuff all marketplace. I sold my dining room set. It's just materialistic things. Yes, but it would probably be nice to have someplace to sit and eat. We're all saying that, well, it's okay if I don't have the money and I'll just sell and I'll do this. And all that's okay. That's all okay if that's really what you want. But it's also okay to want a dining room set and to have a dining room set. So I just meant I need money but have made priceless friends. Yes. Okay. Now I get it, Allie. You've had both. If I made enough money to support my family and that would I have to live paycheck to paycheck, I would be content. Yep. I'm going to start selling on eBay again. I've been doing so since 1998, but I've gotten complacent about it. I can sell things for more money online than I can sell at the store. Yeah, I did that for 14 years, actually longer. I sold on Amazon for 14 years, but I originally started with eBay. So I probably sold maybe 17 years altogether online, and just literally buying things and reselling them online. So it was always new. Everything I sold was always new. And I made a lot of money, a lot of money. So it was a good business. I've been middle class, but in that have gone through times when money is tight and when it's not. Life is definitely easier when it's not tight. Yes. Yeah, it is easier. And there's nothing wrong with it being easier, just to have a peace of mind. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not saying, we all just want money so that we don't have to work and we don't have to give back. That's not what I'm saying at all. All I'm saying is, what is the dollar amount if you knew you could have any dollar amount? If you knew God could provide any dollar amount, what would it be? So, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to be wealthy, and whatever wealthy is to you. What I want is probably not what somebody else wants, and vice versa. My wife has severe generalized anxiety disorder, so she has anxiety attacks, especially regarding money. So having financial freedom would help her feel less anxious. Yes, 100%. 100%. And we're going to talk about that next week. I have typical dreams like being able to buy my mom and dad a house so they don't have to worry about mortgage, etc. I hope you have, I hope you dream about that a lot, because I think that's one thing. Uh, I've shared my story, right? I grew up in poverty, didn't necessarily know. I don't want to make it sound like we were starving, but we didn't always have food on the table. Um, and the food we did get, I remember calling it surplus food, but I don't really know what it was called. We used to go someplace and we'd get these big silver cans of everything. Everything we ate came in a silver can. Um, where was I going with this? What we're saying? Oh, and I think one of the reasons, because one of the things is I say everything's consciousness and it depends in your upbringing, because it's a known fact, it's a statistic that if you grew up in a wealthy family, or if you grew up in a family where money wasn't taboo, or you didn't hear things like, money doesn't grow on trees, there's not enough money, no, you can't have that, any type of negativity around money. There was a lot of that in my house. Um, but one of the things that I did since as long as I can remember is I would dream. Like 7 years old, probably well into my 20s, I would dream and not stop dreaming. Every single night, dream, dream, dream. I would just picture myself in a life that I wanted, whatever that meant. At 7 years old, it was just to have a nice, happy, loving family. That's what I dreamed about. Obviously, as you get older, you dream about having that good job, or a nice car. That's where my head was at in my 20s. Um, and I do think it was that visualization and that feeling and how I felt when I was dreaming about it. I do think that's what set me apart in my family from my siblings. We all grew up in the same house, and my circumstances are very different than my siblings' circumstances. And I attribute it to that. So I feel like I am scientific proof that that works, because there's nothing special about me other than I did that. So, um, and I've always had a good relationship with God, and they just chose not to. So, um, hey, Kathy, how are you, hon? You popped in at the right time, Kathy, because I was on a soapbox early. What time is it? Because I want to make sure. because I know Yvonne goes at 8. At the end of the day, we could all have money in the world, but we can't take it with us when we die. So when we do have money, it just feels good to support other people less fortunate. 100%, Peter. 100. You can't take it with you. You can't take it with you. And that's one of the reasons, another one of the reasons I like to give. Um, and and I also feel that enough people have helped me in my life that if and I don't mean a super chat is helping somebody. I don't mean that at all. I just like to give. It's a very good feeling. And when you feel good, that's when the energy opens up. That's when you're in flow. So that's what I like to do. Uh, I grew up dirt poor. I wouldn't change a thing. I had a great family and it allows me to appreciate what I have now. I work hard for what I have and live within my means. Yeah, Glenn, I would not change anything. And I've said this in other videos. I would not change a thing about my past either because I'm very resilient. I like who I am today. So I think if I changed anything, I may not be who I am today. Um, and I always say, you know, two of my greatest teachers, I didn't grow up in a loving family, but two of my greatest teachers were my parents. They really were. And I will say that till the day I die. Um, and we all come here on divine assignment. And, maybe their divine assignment was to help me become resilient. I don't know. I don't know. Um, there's been many times that I wish I could go back and talk to them, and I do talk to them, but I mean really face to face. If anybody's ever, what's that book, Mitch Albom's book, um, where he goes back and he talks to his mom who passed. I think of that book when I just said that. No judgments for people wanting to make money. It'd be great to earn enough to pay off my mortgage. I worked myself up from an entry level position. I remember being poor as squirrels in winter. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of us, again, right? We seem to attract like-minded. Seems like a lot of us have that same backstory, and we've all been able to rise up. Um, Financial security would truly give a sense of peace of mind to our home. If we could fall into a one-income household, I would homeschool my son. Yeah, and how would that feel? Would that just, again, I always go back to peace of mind, or um, just being able to, I would love to homeschool my grandchildren, and I hope I'm able to when the time comes. um, but I so get it, Dana. I get it for Russell, but in general, I don't think the public schools are where they need to be right now. And I think they could learn so much. Most children, obviously it depends who homeschools them, but they could learn so much more from a homeschool. But of course, because it's becoming more prominent. When my older two were in school, they had a friend who was homeschooled. So I'm going back 20 years, maybe. How old are they? Maybe 15, 20, 15, 18 years. They were the only one that we knew. And it wasn't, I won't say it was frowned upon, but it was definitely an oddity because nobody had homeschooled at that point yet. But now it's becoming very, very popular. So much so, it's becoming popular because the government wants to get in and try and regulate things, right? They kind of want to get their hands involved in it, which is what you don't want. But so it's working. Hey, Yvonne, how are you, hon? I hope you had a good weekend. We had cards from when the game first came out in the 90s. Wow. We sell to large resellers, the local comic book store or on Marketplace. Okay, we have one of those stores not too far from us, CL. So you sell to people like that. Very nice. We have one of these days I say I'm going to sit down and go through them. We have Pokemon cards and we have Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I don't even know if Yu-Gi-Oh is still a thing, but we have a ton of both from when my son was little, and he started collecting them probably when he was 3 or 4. So 98, 99. And They're always put in the sleeves, and they're all open, but they're always put in a notebook in the sleeves. I'm sure there's got to be a few in there that are probably worth something. And I keep saying one of these days I'm going to go through, but I don't know how to find out their value, CL. So I should probably talk to you about that. I have no idea. I figure there's probably some website or something I could go to, but I never sit down long enough to do it. But one of these days. Yes, Daryl, it was for us also. Have to make it happen again. I know Sally's been on a meeting everybody. CL. I sold a Ralph Lauren shirt on eBay just today. It's a great source of income. It's a great source of income. Everyone is special. Money was always tight when I was little. My parents talked about it a lot. Sorry, guys, I'm gonna have to turn. Maybe not. I was gonna say I might have to turn on. And that's what I was gonna say. So, Kelly, this is a good segue. I wanted to ask, was money talked about openly or was it talked about in secret? Was there always enough or were people always stressed? Were your parents stressed about money? Was wealth celebrated or was it looked down upon? Like, did your parents ever judge people who did have money? Mine did. Um, money doesn't grow on trees. I used to hear that a lot. Rich people are greedy. I used to hear that a lot. We can't afford that. That was another one. So these are the three things that I heard all the time that I could remember. Um, because those things that you heard as a 7-year old, an 8-year old, a 10-year old, I believe that is program and that's probably still running in the background. You may not think about it. You may not, think, oh, Lori, I never say there's enough, there's not enough money, or I never say money doesn't grow on trees. Remember what we've talked about before from the age of 0, when babies are born, till the age of really 7. But then it's from 0 to 7, they question nothing. Everything that is said, every mannerism, every raised voice is just recorded. They don't have the logic to push back on anything, just saying, oh, daddy had a bad day. It's just recorded. And then from 7 to 12, if things don't change, it's hard recorded in. And then I venture to say that it'll take you the rest of your life to unprogram that. So I think some of these things are still running in the background because I know they were for me. So that sort of ends like um, this whatever this talk, and then we will continue. Again, it's about wealth and about money. Um, again next Sunday. But I guess what I wanted you to take away tonight is just that you are abundance. You're not separate from abundance, right? You just need to plug in. You're part of it. Every single one of us has a soul. Every single one of us has come here on divine assignment, and we have an infinite amount of energy. And again, the best compliment you can either give or receive is not what you own. It is the type of energy you have. So even if you say, oh, that person's generous, or you say, oh, isn't she so kind? That's a type of energy. So it's never, you never say, hey, I really like her because she has a really nice Jeep, or I really like her because she has a really nice house. It's never that. It's always the best compliment you could get is that you have good energy. And some people actually say, she has good energy, right? You have good energy when I'm around her. I just feel upbeat. I feel happy. That's energy. And again, we're all consciousness. So when you're hanging around people that have upbeat energy, high energy, are in flow, it is naturally going to flow off to the other person. It's the same. Have you ever been around somebody who's not in high energy, somebody who is down all the time, somebody, the cup is half empty, Eeyore, right? You pick up on that too. It goes both ways. You don't pick up just the good energy. You pick up, both ways. Um, so the check, hold on to it because I think we're going to talk about it again, and I know none of you did it. So do it this week. Write yourself a check, and now that I've babbled and you know why I'm asking you to write a check, think about it. What would you write? What would you write? What do you think you're worth? What do you think you're worth? Remember, the supply is unlimited. It's all energy. And that's one of the things, right? What is it? When you go to the bank and you actually want to get physical money or gold or whatever, the physical currency, the physical assets, do you know there's only 4% out of all the money in the world? All the money. There's only 4% physical assets. The other 96%, it's just energy. It's just agreement. Hey, yeah, she has $1,000. She has $1,000. But you don't physically own it. You don't physically have it in your hand. How much money do you guys have in the bank? Or, what about your 401k or investments, right? You say, okay, on paper, I'm just throwing out a random number, a couple $1 million. Do you really have that? No, you don't have it. It's on a piece of paper. And it's just because you and the bank or whomever agreed upon that. So the supply is unlimited. So you can't think, well, there's not enough money to go around, because money, it's just energy. 96% of it is just energy. That's all it is. It's consciousness. And there's plenty of it to go around. Okay, I'm just going to read 5 seconds. 5 seconds. I gotta turn the light on though. And I did get my stickers, and I do like them better than the first round, but I was spoiled with Sally's mug last week because her design on the mug came out so bright and so vibrant. To me, these weren't as vibrant, but I still like them. But I was spoiled with the mug. So, anyways, okay, I'm going to read Thoughtuary, and then we're going to go to Yvonne's. June 7th. It's not June 17th, Lori. It's May 17th. Do not rush the day away. Oh my goodness. I don't ever read these, right? Before I read them with you guys. Always relate. It says, you're worthy and more ready than you realize. The great ones. It's time to finally accept that you are indeed one of the great ones, that your gifts may be hidden, but are undeniable, and you're worthy and more ready than you realize. So please try to summon the courage to share what you know, especially when you feel anything but courageous enough to do so. But also acknowledge that you're this thing called human, and the emotional weight of being vulnerable enough to put your passion and thoughts into the world is anything but light. So be kind to yourself and give it time. But don't but don't you dare stop, because someone most definitely needs what you have to give in the way only you can give it. So ask yourself this: isn't it about time I accepted that I am indeed great in my own way, and that my thoughts, words, and perspectives are truly needed in the world? That is amazing, because in a program right now where all you ever hear about, oh, is you got to pick a niche, you got to do this, you got to pick a niche, you got to drill down, you got to go, and they're like, no, 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 no niche. We're not doing niche. We're gonna do something different. So um I like that they said perspectives, because that's kind of what we're talking about. Anyways, folks, I love you guys, and thank you for listening. And we will continue. If I didn't lose everybody, everybody's probably dropped, but we will continue next Sunday, and hopefully I'll see you over at Yvonne's. And tomorrow is Peter at 4 p.m. Eastern, Jen at 6 p.m. Eastern, and that's all I can think about right now. And I'm assuming Sally's going back tomorrow at 7. She will be open for business. So I don't know. Check her post. All right, I love you guys, and I will see you soon.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you that every person listening to this, whether they are here today or finding this days from now, is seen by you. Thank you that no one here is invisible. Thank you that no one is alone even when they feel like they are. Thank you, Lord, for the one to sit quietly, who never type a word but show up faithfully. Thank you that they are loved. Thank you that they belong here. Thank you that this community holds space for them, just as they are. Thank you for providing for those who are struggling financially. Thank you that you are their source, not their job, not their bank account, but you, Almighty Father. We praise you. Thank you, the doors are opening, that needs are being met. The provision is coming in ways they didn't expect. Please, Lord God, help them see this. Thank you for healing. Thank you for the bodies that are being restored, the energy that is returning, the pain that is lifting. Thank you, dear God, for clarity, for those who have been searching for answers about their health. Thank you that you are the God who heals. And thank you for this community, this beautiful, imperfect, faithful group of people who show up for each other. Thank you that we get to do this together. Thank you that we are not walking alone. We receive all of this with gratitude in Jesus' name.